How's that? How's that? That's better. Man, it's been a weekend. Yeah, I muted. I fixed it. I fixed it. You guys could hear me. You could probably hear me now. Better. Better. $5. Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to that? Remind me to bump Jack what he did with all the $5 that we've been sending him. Looks like I had a fun weekend. Yeah, hopefully everybody got to enjoy their weekend. Enjoy a nice long weekend, 4th of July holiday weekend. Let me get everything set up on my end, and then I'll read the chat. If I can remember how to do this. Have one more day. You made $100. $100 is not lousy. $100 is $100. That's for sure. Well, let's get into it. Welcome to Slow Markets, everybody. I'm Coach Dakota, Coach CBA. In the YouTube chat, there's our Top Step risk disclosure. We know this is not financial advice. This is not signals class. Yeah, we got it. We know it. There's that risk disclosure. Talk about it all the time. Oh, let's see. Let's see some of these questions that's coming in. Now, feel free to ask questions. It's Sunday night, calm night. We got the New York, or not the New York, the futures open here, and it's the Sunday after a nice long weekend. Let's see. Is there any big orders in these books? Nothing really crazy going on. Nothing too crazy, to be honest. Guys, on Topstep X, you can only set bracket orders for market entries. I can't get them to work. I'm not sure. I'll double check. I'm sure there's somebody in here that knows. If not, look on the left-hand side. There's like support. There's some tutorials and help center and everything there. I set my daily loss to 1,500. I am off for the next 90 days to have a back OP. Oh, wish everything's the best, Richard. I set the limit though. Okay, well I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna do the regular take it real. I'll review NASDAQ right here. You can see NASDAQ. It's NASDAQ futures. This is the daily chart. Then I'll review gold, and we'll see if there's any trade setups for some overnight slow markets trades, or maybe a nice little scalp to pay for dinner here tonight. So daily chart. I always start on higher time frames. Daily. We've been hitting all-time highs. You can see we had this massive move and then kind of a little bit of consolidation, and we've been slowly drifting up? This is a decent move to the long side, and we just got another one. So the question that we always ask, or the question that I am always asking is, are we going to see a trend continuation? Are we going to break higher? I mean, we're right at, what are we? We're basically at 23,000, right? We're about 25 points lower than 23,000. Do we consolidate around 23,000 for a little bit? Maybe. If we do start to sell off, where could I see this market going? We know that there's a nice support level here at 22,600s, upper 500s. So if this market does want to sell off, I mean, I could see this market going down there on the daily. This is a daily chart, so I could see that. That's very realistic and very possible. From the long side, I mean, just make all-time highs. I mean, what else is there, right? We have one red day, two green ones. The red days are very short and, I mean, short-lived, I guess, is the best way I could say it. Let's zoom into an hourly chart. Hourly chart here in the NASDAQ. We opened up with a gap. You can see where, I mean, we basically closed at 906, right? We gapped up, and we consolidating a little bit. You can see the NASDAQ is down 0.38. Let me just see. Looks like Friday we got that nice rally. Then we sold off for the rest of the afternoon. And the last little bit we did sell off. Wow, we sold off quite a bit during power hour on Friday. And from where we closed, yeah, the close was a little bit different, right? The close was different because it was the day before the 4th of July, a holiday. So it says we're down 0.38%, kind of right in the middle of this big rally that we had on Thursday anyway. We still have that gap to the downside. Maybe we look for us to run a bit lower and then find some buying opportunities. Remember on the daily chart, now that we're zoomed in, you could see this nice level of support here on the hourly chart, these 22,600s. So could we sell off and see that? Sure, that's a possibility. Something comes into these markets, a headline or something that brings some fear. I mean, tariffs, right? Talk about tariffs. Could we bring this market down to that level? Sure. Until then, is this just an opportunity that we just buy the dip and we just have this market keep just marching higher, all-time highs? That could be possible as well. We're kind of in the middle. If I continue to zoom in, if we zoom in and we look at what we're doing just tonight, let's just do this. I'm gonna get into a small short position here. You can see. I'm gonna explain this first. I'll talk about this. I wanted to get into the trade, just small little position, but you can see where we closed and then we opened all the way up at 968. So that's a decent move. That's a decent gap. 65 points. This is a 5-minute chart. So this is 65-point gap up, and then we closed about half of it, and the high of the session is 23,027. 23,000 is holding as resistance. So if we mark that 23,000 level, that's where it's at. This is the resistance. Did I just sell the bottom? You can make an argument that we are consolidating. When we consolidate, we buy the bottom, sell the top. Did I just sell the bottom, chat? There's an argument to be made that I just sold the bottom. And if we go back up and push 23,000, that would be where the top of this consolidation is. Buy the bottom of the consolidation, sell the top. But I am looking for this market to break down and maybe come back and test the low. Maybe we come back and test this, 940s. Will we come back down and test this? I don't know. But just looking for a nice little leg lower. Let me just zoom in here for a moment, and then we can just trade it up. Why not? Sunday night, trade it up. I'm on here for an hour, so you guys get this. Let's see if we could just take a nice little trade, pay for some dinner tonight. Let's see if we can break even further, break some more lows. Maybe I could take one off here at these lower 60s. You can see there's some buyers that stepped in there. And then obviously that was the low of this session. If we go and break that, will we come and see this 29,000 even? Maybe 29,000 or 22,900, 22,910s. That could be a possibility. Well, let's see how we could do this. How much is dinner? Well, we're at $40. We're at about $40 for dinner tonight. Depends on where you're eating. Oh, man. Gap fill on the NQ, please. Why do I always find myself out into short trades? Why do I always find myself in short NASDAQ? Damn it. All right, there's $40. There's almost a $50 bill. Walking down the road and you see a $50 bill, you should probably pick it up, right? So I just close off one right there. Let's see if we can get these 60s, these lower 60s, 64, 63. Looking for maybe somewhere to test this level of support. Maybe we get a further breakdown. Then we'll take a look at gold. Hey, I see a trade. I'm going to trade it before I move on to this next market. Let's see if we get a continuation to those lower 60s. We're trying to. Let's see it. Gold longs look good right here. Well, if the gold longs look good, I'm happy I'm short the NAS. All right, go on. Push to those 62, 63. We could get it. It might take a little bit. Oh, 64. We got 64. This is only 9 points. 9 points. Still a very, very small volatility. Not crazy amounts of volatility here. So I think we'll just let this one cook. And yeah, I'm not seeing anything too crazy. I'll try and keep an eye on the P&L while we move over to gold. What is gold doing? Gold, let's kind of move it over to one chart. Move it over to one chart real fast. Let's take a look at the hourly on gold. Hourly on gold. I mean, can we see a gold breakdown? Wow. You know what? Do you remember that? I posted this. Where is it at? And we could even do hashtag slow markets. Hashtag slow markets. If you have something to share regarding slow markets, there is the Twitter. The link to my Twitter, you could share it, you could tag me in it, and we'll go through that. But who remembers this? I think I was on with Coach J. The beauty of technical analysis. Higher time frame technicals. They really do work. They work. Not 100% of the time, but frequently, right? Who remembers this? I was on with Coach J. I believe it was with Coach J on Wednesday, where we had this downtrend. I was reviewing this, and I'm basically saying this was a nice possible double top, and it was simple, straightforward. I was looking for gold to come down and test these basic 33,320s to 330s. That was the target, and sure enough, if we look at how that played out, obviously, it's not going to be perfect, right? You're not going to see the market move exactly, most of the time, exactly to your target in just one candle. But that was the same setup, right? Here's that double top. And this zone that I was looking out at, these 320s to 330s. And this was basically that image that I posted. It was a beautiful setup. And sure enough, it did come down and it hit those 3320s. So 1 hour chart, so a higher time frame than I typically trade during the fast markets versus slow markets. I love slow markets, price action, which is what you're seeing right now. Gives us the time to trade a slower market, higher time frames. It doesn't take too long, but it gives us that time, right? We're not needing to watch the markets go up and down really quick and make very quick split decisions. But yeah, gold came down and tested these 320s. It looks like we're starting to sell off again. We are at this, 3333. And so the question now is, do we want to sell for push lower? And maybe we come back down into this area. Maybe we come down and test these 320s again. Do we have much more room to the downside? It's a lot more difficult for me to sell right now. Of course, we could continue to get a leg lower, right? That's possible. But I would rather wait for a better risk-reward opportunity. Maybe we get some type of rally or more consolidation. I mean, this gold market can just sell off. We still have, We still have 12 minutes until the top of the hour where we see a spike in volatility. But I want to look for opportunities to short gold right now based off this price action. I mean, we could very well test these 320s. Heck, maybe we come down and test these, 3,300. That's a nice round number. 3,300. Maybe we come down and test this low that we made on the 27th, 28th, near the end of June. That's a possibility. So very, very, very indecisive on gold. I would be opposed for buying because of all this bearish pressure. Maybe we just get a bounce. I wouldn't be surprised with the bounce. Like, see, every time we get down to this level, we have been finding buyers. So longs could be okay, but we're kind of in no man's land where I don't like either direction. I don't like either direction. I'd love to be in a short, but the short was obviously when we started to break down here at these 40s about what, an hour, 2 hours ago, when we rallied all the way up to these 53s and then we rejected it. So if we zoom in, let's take a look at a 5-minute chart. And yeah, the short was the breakdown. You see, it looks like we opened up, went up to these 50s, rejected, and then as soon as we started to break down that, looks like we broke down below the support, came back, tested these 40s, and then we started to move lower. So that was the trade. I'm not in it. I mean, look, you can see there's lots of support there as well. This is a 5-minute chart, by the way. So watch and see. I think it's just watch and see. Let's see how it plays out. We still have 10 minutes to the top of the hour. In the meantime, let's go take a look at the NASDAQ. What's the NASDAQ doing? Looks like we got a little bit of a bounce, and we're going right back down. So very rare occasion. Entry is acting as resistance. Doing some other technicals. This is another thing I looked at, right? Where maybe we do break down and we come up, test it. I'm still looking for that continuation lower. Let's see. We're chilling. It's a slow night. Let's while we do that. Yeah, do we have any hashtag slow markets? And let me put some music on. Let me put some music on while I do that. Let me know if it's too loud. Oh, I gotta at least listen to it. Hold on. Took a short. Seeing a little bit of a spike in volatility. Look, these numbers. You know it's a slow market when the numbers are a point apart, 1 point apart on each one of these. Over here on the right hand side, you know it's a slow market. All right, now I got some music going on my end. Is the music too loud? Volume's good. Thank you. Let's see if we could get a test of the session lows here. Volume's good. Okay. Let's do some of these slow markets. Hashtag slow markets. First one. Ooh, I like this one. Don't be embarrassed. Says, I'm really embarrassed. Blew 5 XFAs, 8K times 5, 40K in profit. That's how much I make in a year. I got greedy and lost it all. How can I fix this? Oversizing. I'm going to lean, without knowing the details, is oversizing. If you are it looks like you were up $8,000. You should not be losing $8,000. It should take you 3 months to lose $8,000 with the proper sizing, right? If you start to lose money, you want to size low, size down. Maybe if you're used to trading 2 minis, you could trade 1. If you still continue to struggle and lose money, then go from 1 mini to 5 micros. And as you start to struggle, you want to size down. And just judging by this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. That's 1 week. So you were probably trading just too big of size. And you didn't give yourself enough time to allow your strategy or your process to get over a losing streak. I saw an interview where if Guy had a good winner, he would size down. There's both ways, right? I've seen traders who, if they start to trade good, they like, hey, I had a winning trade, so the next trade I'm going to size down. Maybe they understand their statistics differently. Just trust your process. That's what a combine or a practice account is. That's what a demo account is. That's what a combine is. It's to be able to hone and get better at following a process and trading better. And then once you get into the live environment or an XFA environment, you just follow that process. Don't change anything. Just understand that if you do start struggling, most of the time, the best thing to do is to just size down or go to a practice account until you gain your confidence. You see me, I'm sized down. In the New York session, I've been trading a simulated account because I have been struggling. I have been struggling for months. Of course, I've had great days. I've had bad days. I have not let myself blow this account. This is the same live account I've had for a year. I will not let myself blow my account in a day or a week or 2 weeks. If I'm going to blow this account, it's going to take me another 6 months of really bad trading. I'm going to continue to trade and get better and size down and work on my day trading process, because I tell everybody I'm not the best day trader. I'm not the best day trader. And I would be lying to myself if I said I was. Here's another one. Took a short for $633. Locked out for the night. Okay. You placed your trade. You locked out. And you have the cat following the mouse, I think. There's the mouse. You have your kitten. That's a kitten following the mouse. Love to see that. Love to see that, Brendan. We do a couple more. This market is slow. We're kind of just consolidating here at these 70s. I'm looking for a push lower, just a nice run of these lower 60s, maybe even 50s. We had 3 contracts on, and I peeled one off already. Let's take a look. Someone, Darth Buddha, trading the SPY gap around 600. Doing some more hashtag slow markets. Dakota looking to see if the NASDAQ holds the double bottom on the 5-minute or breaks the double bottom in support. Yeah, it's a decision zone, right? You could easily see from a bullish perspective, if you're a bull and if your analysis is looking for a place to buy, this could be it, right? This is a buy. Maybe you're saying, this could be a flagging pattern. This is consolidating, right? You want to buy low, so you want to buy down near an area of support. And then you're looking for this market to rotate higher. And then you want to sell up at a level of resistance, believing that this market's going to consolidate. Buy low, sell high. That's what you want to do in a consolidating market. I am looking for this market to actually break down. Look, I see this big gap. I see that we had that nice rejection. This 23,000 is holding as resistance, and I did my analysis on a little bit higher time frame, so I could be wrong. I could easily be wrong. I'm just ask anybody online. Ask anyone on social media. I could be wrong. All right, Greg. Great start to a week. DBA Concepts. Got your setup. Got your tablet. Love to see it. You post frequently. I like it. I like it. And what are we doing? We're still sitting here at 68, 69. What do you think about gold right now? Metals, chat, and shorts. I'll look at gold in a minute. I'm in a trade. I did review gold. If you rewind the YouTube, I did briefly review it. We still have 2 minutes. Usually we see a spike in volatility at the top of the hour. So after that, then I'll take a look at gold. I'm going to see if I could close another contract here if we get a push lower into these lower 60s, maybe even upper 50s. Just testing this. I'm looking for a test of this, and then maybe even holding a runner for a longer trade. Where's my stop loss now? This is like an emergency stop. Like worst case scenario, headline hits and we just bounce 50 points. We're just chilling, hanging out here, taking forever. All right, let's take a look at gold. Gold's doing the same. You know what we could do? We could look at the week ahead, right? What do we have this week? Today is Sunday. Tomorrow's July 7th. Obviously Monday. Not too much going on Monday. We obviously have tariff talk, right? The U.S. the tariff deadline coming out on the 8th. Lots of speakers always. FOMC, that's going to move some markets here on Wednesday, right? Talking about tariffs. Yeah, JD in the chat reminding us FOMC minutes. Wednesday is going to be a big one. Lots of speakers, jobless claims Thursday. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. Are we gonna have? No, I doubt it. To be honest, chat. As much as I want to believe that this is all that's gonna happen this week, it never is. Right? Yeah, some few bond auctions. Odds are we're gonna have some headline news. We're gonna have Donald Trump tweeting. Odds are we're gonna have something happen, right? Tariffs. It can't be that smooth sailing. Some Elon Musk and Trump drama to move Tesla. I made money on the gold shorts and now I'm in profit for longs. Great work. And we're still bouncing back and forth from 67s to 71s. All right, let's get a little break for me. Let's get a break. Break this support. Move these markets lower. You think the markets are going to go down big? And you never know. You never know. We're testing mid 60s, 66, 64. There we go. There we go. Are we going to have follow through? I want to see 61. Are we going to bounce? Let's see if we could bounce this. Bounce or follow through. The top of the hour, it was 1 minute. What's gold doing? Gold selling. Gold's got cooked. Gold is selling off. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. All right, I'm gonna see if I can finish this NASDAQ trade off. Let's get. All right, I'll take one. I'll take one off there. Oh, there's the move. Tighten this baby up. Let's just glue this. Coach Jay in the chat. That gold short turned out to be a nice trade. Yes, sir. We'll go like this. We'll go like this. Just a nice little trade. I'll do this to be the slow markets trade of the night. Slow markets trade of the night. There we go. Nothing too crazy. Let's gonna move this lower, to be honest. We just let it run. Should we just let it run, chat? Or do we just take profit? Let it run or take profit? Someone says, let it run, gee whiz. Let's try that. Let's make sure we don't lose money here. We're paying for dinner. That's a dinner in my book. That's a dinner in my book. There we go. Nice little dinner. Save it for the auto liquidator already. I know, man. I know, right? I know, right? See, I guess I don't always lose. Should have just left it on. Gee whiz. Gee whiz was right. Look at it. Look at it. Sell off. Hindsight never loses. Yeah. There we go. Simple and easy. If only every trade was that easy, right? You just place it, it goes to your take profit, you do it live in front of everybody in your live account, and then you can just chill, right? You can just chill, and we could just talk, hang out, enjoy the rest of the Sunday night. Enjoy the rest of the Sunday night. Gold's continue to sell off a little bit here. Be happy with it. That's all I could have asked for. I entered back in. Could have now long for a long. Now look for a long. I'm happy with this. Yeah, we're going. No, $89. 89 bucks. That will get me. That will give me a nice steak dinner. Dinner for two, Andrew. 89 bucks. Connell says, I have 20 points in unrealized profits. No date tonight. Me in my bed. Me in my bed is the date. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. Richard, what kind of a question is that? Souza, 89 bucks is a solo whiskey shot and a medium well steak. I like it. I like that. Look at this market now just sell right off. Fill in the gap. £50 of bologna. That 89 bucks could get me some fancy frozen peas. Some fancy frozen peas. Ooh, when are we gonna get MP on here? MP needs to join me. You messaged me, MP. I got the message from you like right now. But when are you gonna join me for slow markets? Girl at home. Look at this market just keep going. Did you close your position? Are you watching? Naz? Of course, I'm flat. I quit. I managed success. Oh, it's do I engage in the Twitter drama? To gauge or not to engage? I'm gonna choose not to. Wonder what's going on. I heard they're delaying tariffs to August 1st. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the tariffs. Might be a possible bear case for a 75% retracement. This market keeps going. This market keeps going. Where will we go? Will we go test these? Are we going to test 900 tonight? Are we going to test 900 tonight? War drama again. We've been seeing conflict headlines for a while now, but this market has been going up, right? This market's been going straight up throughout conflict headlines. I will not FOMO. I will not FOMO. Check out gold. We're watching the NASDAQ sell off. Gold selling off too. Yeah, it's dropping. Yeah, the gold short looked nice. I know, chat. It's just, well, who took it? Who took the short gold? That was a great trade. Me, I don't like it. I'm uncomfortable in my trade, but I still hold. I did. Okay. Oh, here's someone. Gold keeps going. Didn't want to pull back. Gold sitting right on Thursday's low. We're breaking through Thursday's low now, JD. It's picking up speed too. It's picking up some speed. It's because I think U.S. equity is listed USD, so you could be long text. The market without being long text. Okay, interesting. Do you trade on market structure and breakout rejection? Confluence? Yeah, market structure. I don't look at other markets for confluence. It's purely market structure. Let me review this NASDAQ trade. Okay? Let me review this NASDAQ trade. Everybody's seen me, right? Everyone's seen me talk through this NASDAQ trade, right? If not, rewind this. Rewind it. I talked through this NASDAQ trade pretty well. At least I think I did. I hope I explained it okay. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to walk through this again, okay? And let me know if you have any questions. So, 23,000. Big round number. Okay, you can see how we held it. We held it Friday, Thursday. And when we opened up, we gapped up. We came up and 23,000 became resistance. Okay. On the 5-minute chart, when we zoom in, I kind of walk through that. I walk through on the 5-minute chart. This is where we were at, right? Now, of course, at the time, I'm like, oh, man, because this is where I sold it. I sold it at, I don't know, somewhere down here. And the first thing I said was like, man, did I just buy the low? And if this market continues to consolidate, it's buy low, sell high, right? So it could be a mistake. I could be wrong. This market could have went right back up to 23,000, and I would look like a complete idiot. That's the risk you take when you trade. You might not always be right, because this would look like I'm selling low. It's like, God, I just sold low when it should be buy low, sell high. I'm going to look like an idiot if this market rallies back up to 23,000. And then a lot of traders in the chat, I would get made fun of. They're just like, oh, look at this idiot. He sold the low when he should have been buying, right? That's what happens. That's the pressure that comes with trading live in front of everybody and showing the executions and being transparent in front of thousands of traders when I have a lot of shit talkers on and Twitter fingers on social media. So that's what happens. That's what I think. I'm thinking, man, it sucks because it's the same thing is when you place a trade, you second guess yourself. Man, I have that fear of being wrong, but regardless of that fear, you just place the trade. You place the execution. It looked like we were going to break down, right? We started to break down. I don't know what price I got. I can't remember what price I got, but we kept rejecting the 23,000 level. We came down, tested it, and we had that big gap down here. See this big gap that we had to open it up, to open the Sunday night, which is tonight's session up. We gapped all the way up. We only filled about half of it. We came down, we tested, looks like this level of resistance. Resistance became support. And I was looking for this thing to come back down to these 60s, maybe hold on to a runner. And, sure enough, we did break down. I took 2 contracts off for profit in this level. That's all I was really looking for. And then we just started breaking down. I did not expect this bigger breakdown. Really, I was not expecting this big breakdown, this big move. I was only looking for a little bit of a breakdown and then hold on to a runner with hopes, right? With the opportunity, say I have a runner, I could get a little bit more. And I did get a little bit more. I think I closed it out for what, 40s or 50s, somewhere down here. And I wasn't looking for everything. But hopefully that made sense. Just simple, straightforward. It's not too complicated. This market, like I said, it could have easily went up and made me look like an idiot, but that's part of trading. You have to get used to looking like an idiot. You have to be a good loser, because sometimes you're going to be wrong. You could be wrong very often, but getting over that fear, right? Everybody in the chat, you don't have to trade in front of traders, but you're trading in front of yourself, right? Where you're placing that trade, and if you're wrong, you're your own worst enemy. You beat yourself up for placing a bad trade, because if this would have went up and you weren't trading, like say it's just me, myself, and I in front of my computer, and this market just, instead of going down, it went up, then you're going to think, man, I was a crappy trader. That was a crappy trade. Why did I take that trade? That was stupid. And then you look at it with hindsight and be like, oh, that was so obvious. That was so obvious. We were, consolidating, buy low, sell high. And then you tend to just react negatively. And so the next time the setup comes, you buy it instead of sell it. You're like, oh, I want to sell this, but last time it happened, I took a loss. I'm going to buy it. Well, and then it does sell off, and then you think to yourself, why did I second guess myself? And then you get into this very vicious cycle, and you hesitate at every entry and every trade, and it's an emotional low, and it's the emotional ups and downs of this market that we go through as traders by ourselves most of the time, which is even worse. Yeah, been there, done that all the time. Good thing there is a setup for the YM. Richard, Richard's, you're in the chat, man. Your chat is always entertaining. Such aggressive selling in gold now? We have about 8 minutes left. Gold continues to sell off. Gold continues to sell off. Shark trends, yeah, I take profit, paid for dinner, and then plus some. Good, nice little start to the week. Nothing too crazy. Hey, that's a week's worth of wages in some countries. You managed, okay, purely support and resistance and market reaction to them. Yep, simple, straightforward, technicals. $89 is $89. Hey, that's what is this? We could do some trader math, right, JD? Let's see. I started that at how long was that trade? How long was the trade? It wasn't crazy long. It was like let's go back to the NQ. That was say 5, 10, 15, 30, 20 minutes. Okay, we could do some trader math here. Extrapolate it. Let's make this look good. Let's get, I took a marketing class. Let's go ahead and put that marketing class to good use. And let's talk about how amazing I am. $89 divided by 20 minutes. I made $4.45 a minute sitting here, and then times it by 60. You know, that's $267 an hour. Is that right? Is that right? $267 an hour. And then what I could do is I make a post and say, best trader ever, make $267 an hour. Math works. Yeah. No. What we do is 267. How many hours do I want to work a week? I want to work, of course, 40 hours a week, right? No. Maybe I work really hard, and the futures markets are open, 23 hours a day. So 12 hours days, right? So $267 an hour. I'm working 12-hour days. I'm making $3,200 a day, times that by 5 days a week. I'm making $16,000 a week, and then we times that by 4 because there's 4 weeks in a month, and then we times that by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. I just made, you too can make, almost $800,000 a year by trading 3 micros. Right? Yeah, because we round up. We have to round up. That's the marketing 101. You round up. You can make almost $800,000 a year by trading 3 micros and basics. Now let me sell you a freaking book. I used to think like that. Everybody, you have to be honest. When I was little, when I was younger, and that's how so many people entering this market. That's what you think of, right? You think of the nice, flashy. That's trader math. You want to be able to do that. But then there's the reality. You're going to have losing days. You're going to have losing weeks. You might even have a losing month or two. Losing quarter. Trader math is key. That's marketing 101 right there, chat. But $89 for a nice chill Sunday night. Not too bad. Andrew A says he has a whole spreadsheet dedicated to trader math. You call it duh numbers, like duh bears. If you're up on the month, load up on P's. Not just any P's. Not the great value P's. Warren Buffett, I don't know if this is a true quote. Is it? If you focus on what you could make, you'll be tempted. So true. When I had my streak of 15 days in a row of win day, I did 8K, and I was like, let's go. I'll quit my job. Yeah, you don't want to be in that type of a situation. Hashtag trader math. Yeah, it's actually 800, 800, 600, 1,000, minus 3,000, plus 500, minus 2,000. Yeah. That's about how it is, X. No, yeah, you want to see what I would buy with this $89. You want to see? I'll show you what I would. Oh, here's Sam. Oh, look. Here's the hashtag slow markets. Gold short for a slow market banger. Slow markets. Love that. Love to see it. Beautiful. Great work, Sam. NASDAQ starting to bounce. And that's a good bounce, too. Look, buy the dip. Buy the dip. That's 40 points. We're seeing some good volatility here. We're seeing some good volatility tonight. Did you ever compare your micro trades to what could have been on a mini? Of course, everyone does that, right? Where it's like, man, if I would have only traded a mini, if I would have only traded minis, that would have been $890. You don't want to be down that. That's psychological sabotage for you as a trader. Comparison is a thief of joy. I mean, there's probably a lot of sayings and quotes out there. You don't want to be going down that road. You just focus on the process. That same process, it doesn't matter whether it's micros, minis, 3 micros, 3 minis, 30 micros, 30 minis. It's that same process, capturing that move. It just has, yeah, it's all relative. Yep. You learn how to trust your process. We all need to get better at trusting our process. How do you handle FOMO? FOMO will always be there. You will always have FOMO. No matter how long you have traded, no matter how good you think you are, traders will always have FOMO. But being able to not act upon it, I think is, in my opinion, the key. So, okay, everybody, we hit an hour. That was a fast hour. Hit an hour. Sunday nights. I'll be on bright and early tomorrow morning. If not, tomorrow night during slow markets. Coach Jay is going to be joining me. A nice week ahead. Like I said, thank you. I am active on the Twitterverse. It's always fun on there. If so, join me. We'll see how it is. Take care, everybody, and see you then. Bye.